Welcome to Sport Dosage with me, your host, Joseph Yose Migelo. Today we're talking about the 13 times Zambian Super League champions in Nkana. They're back again, making the headlines for the perceived wrong reasons. Of course, they have been banned to play their home games for the rest of 2023-2024 league season. But before we go any further, remember to hit the subscribe button, share, and like this podcast. This podcast has been brought to you with the compliments of AM Transfers and Tours, the best tour operator company in Livingstone, the tourist capital of Zambia and Southern Africa. Remember to book with them every time you feel like visiting Livingstone, and they have a promotion running which you can find out in the description box below. Now, we're talking about Nkana. They have been banned to use their beloved stadium. The Nkana Stadium will no longer host a Super League match for the rest of the 2023-2024 soccer season. The reason being for crowd trouble in the previous 2022-2023 season. Now, let's take a recap on this. Now, recently, previously in the other season, Nkana, of course, had crowd troubles. Remember the time they hosted Green Buffalo? There were some issues of the soldiers going in the crowds, fans getting beaten, of course, stones being thrown in the Kitwe derby and all that. Now, one would say this punishment feels rather heavy and unwarranted. Of course, it may seem so. However, people may question the fact that what is the standard that is being followed in the Zambian Super League concerning crowd trouble? Have these perceived bans done anything good going forward? Have the teams learned not to do to do anything bad going forward? Because last season, remember very well, Changa Rangers, their fans had been banned from the stadium. Of course, something went on to happen again. Nkana themselves are not new to crowd troubles. This happened again. So, FAS needs to sit down and say, what are we doing wrong? No matter what kind of punishment we dish out, this keeps on happening. Something might be wrong. Something might not be seen to be considered in the way forward for this ban. But hey, remember, a long season, 2023-2024 soccer season. Imagine playing your home games away from home. In the ban, it says 60 kilometers away. Like, that's very far. You see, but of course, some kind of fans would say they are confident that they'll fill up any stadium in Zambia, wherever it is being hosted. This is a club that is one of the most followed clubs in Zambia. But this punishment comes at a very, very, very hard place, because this is a season where Nkana feels like they might wake up and try to challenge for a league title coming in the next season, because they have just witnessed their rivals, their neighbors, Power Dynamos, winning the league season as well. So, is this ban really good for Nkana and for FAS? For Nkana, yes, it's good and not good at the same time, because it's good to say that their FAS are dishing out a punishment, but at the same time it's bad. For FAS, it shouldn't just end at a punishment, because at the same time they have to ask themselves, how are we giving remedy to this situation? You see, you hit a child with the right hand, you bring them in with the left hand. So they've dished out the punishment. What remedy are they putting in place to make sure this does not occur again? FAS needs to sit down with these clubs, help them create a structure in a way of handling crowd trouble, create a crowd management procedure or crowd management report. Security-wise, how many security officers must be at a stadium? How many police officers must be at a stadium? The security personnel at the stadium, should they carry weapons? If yes, what sort of weapons? Because we've seen in the past Green Buffaloes having soldiers in the stands at Nkana Stadium with a gun. That's just too wrong, because that gun might go off at any time. Someone might lose their life. It may cause stampede in the process of hearing gunfire. So all that must be put in place. They must sit down, offer guidelines. How many security personnel are there? How do you do in a case where there are stones thrown onto the pitch? What is the referee supposed to do? Stop the match, abandon the match or just wind down the clock. We've seen this in the Bundesliga where fans caused trouble involving a club, Hoffenheim, where they were protesting against their owners. Some teams were protesting against the club owners of Hoffenheim, while they're saying they felt like they were buying football because they were spending so much money in their squad and all that. So what they used to do is when teams protest in the game, the both teams, any team that is playing against Hoffenheim, they will just slow down the game and just start playing to wind down the clock. You see? So all that they must put in place in order to find a way to educate the fans and punish the fans at the same time. Of course, it would have been better to dish out to say Nkana should play closed doors for the first round, or maybe close doors for the rest of the season. That could have worked, but FAS should make a remedy, should put a standard or a benchmark and a guideline on how crowd management should be done. In case that it goes bad, this and this must be done. In case it goes good, this and this must be done. Security-wise, how many security personnel must be there? Do they carry weapon? How many stewards should be there? All that. So this has been Joseph Yose Michelo with this breaking news of Nkana Football Club, Kalampa, being banned at the home. Tell me what you think about this ban in the comment box below. Remember to hit the subscribe button, share and like.